But anyways, talking about riders switching teams, Remco Evenepoel, we talked about him last week. Well, apparently he's not going to the tour, as we've talked about too long, I think. There is a rumor here, and you were the one who wanted to bring up this story. Yeah, Remco Evenepoel, what's happening with him?
Well, this one's been sort of boiling for a while. So last September, we covered the initial story that Ineos Grenadiers were interested in Remco Evenepoel. It was a very, very sort of thin rumor where apparently a text message was sent across in interest, and we couldn't tell if the context was joking or not. And said rumor has actually spiraled into somewhat of a reality. Not he's not going to move right now, but like in terms of that, there's more suspicion to believe there might be something going on here. So streets are saying that Ineos Grenadiers have been flirting with Remco Evenepoel. According to Patrick Lefevre, that's verbatim what he said, that Ineos should stop flirting with Remco. Remco, apparently maybe his father, who is also his agent, might be in talks with Ineos Grenadiers. I'm not quite up to speed with that one, but Patrick Lefevre keeps being asked about Remco and Ineos in interviews. And Patrick Lefevre even said that Remco is not a sports car that they can sell. So who knows what's going on here between Lefevre and Evenepoel. We spoke about sort of the futility of this new Evenepoel schedule for the rest of the season and what this could mean for the seasons to come. And it felt like Evenepoel was being held back in terms of his potential, where Ineos or someone like that could really use an Evenepoel to fulfill their potential as well as Remco's himself. We also know about the whole budgetary thing as well. Ineos will probably be offering a hell of a lot more money than Soudal Quickstep, who historically have struggled financially to secure riders on long-term contracts. So, I mean, with the moolah and the opportunities that could come at Ineos Grenadiers, you would think that could be a very enticing reason for Remco Evenepoel to move. And that might be why Patrick Lefevre is getting increasingly annoyed in interviews when asked about Remco Evenepoel, particularly during this Giro.
I mean, where would it leave Quickstep though? Because Alaphilippe, let's face it, we've talked about that, how Alaphilippe is probably going to leave at the end of next year because Lefebvre just keeps on harassing him basically in the press, which is just like he's just said he's, I don't know, like flaky or just like basically there's some bad blood going on there. And there's talks of Jakobsen or something also maybe moving. It's like, does Lefebvre want a team left or something? He's literally just like taking every big name out of a team and removing them. It's like, well, who are you going to replace these fantastic riders with? It's a team which doesn't particularly focus too much on GC, although they have obviously done now with Remco. Are they really lining up that angle? Is he wanting a Pogacar really bad? Is Lefebvre? Is that his long-term goal? I don't really know. It seems like Evenepoel's always kind of been the golden boy of Lefebvre. I don't see why Lefebvre would want to let him go, but of course that's not really the problem here. It's that Remco is potentially. Well, I don't know if Remco's wanting to go, but it's not up to Lefebvre. It's Remco and his dad and whatnot who are kind of pushing this. But it's a weird one because I don't think it makes sense for Soudal Quickstep to let him go, but I certainly think it makes sense for Ineos to try and pick him up because let's face it, Ineos are being a little bit meh at the moment. I'd say that if G would have won the Giro, of course, that would of course change my opinion. And we've got Teo and stuff. They really need somebody like a Remco to really restart that Ineos kind of we are an absolute A-lister GC team because at the moment I feel like they're kind of being bullied out of their kind of previous statesmanship standing.
I mean, Bernal was meant to be that rider. He was meant to be the golden goose for Ineos, and then we know what happened. He faded back injuries, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, Quickstep, long-term, well, not long-term, cycling fans who have known Quickstep for a bit longer than perhaps you two will remember the 2011 Quickstep team, and they were dreadful. And that was really the collapse of HTC Columbia. And then they took over a number of stuff from HTC, and that's where we got this all-conquering Quickstep. Now, the Remco project is the new thing. They eroded their sprinter setup to some degree, eroded their classics. So if Remco disappears from this, it's just a husk of a sprinters team. And like you were mentioning as well, we'll talk about Jakobsen in a bit as well. But like, yeah, but Ineos Grenadiers, like you said, money, they need this missing piece. They've got an incredible climbing team around Remco if he does go, but Yeah, I think it would happen. It could happen, but yeah, we'll see.
I just think more than anything, it seems like Lefebvre is anxious about it. I don't even know whether there are sort of substantial links really to be had between these rumors, but Lefebvre apparently has told Remco that the rumors must stop. So maybe he knows something we don't, but yeah,
He won't like this video.
no, he won't. But he's been signed on for a long time with the squad. You would think he has to stay here. There might be something as well in the contract about like a buying out clause. I know there's one for Pogacar that's like a huge sum. If someone wanted to buy Pogacar halfway through his contract, you have to pay X amount, and it's like it's a bananas number. But for Remco, like who knows if he has the same thing in place, but he's building a team with riders he likes around him. You know, I feel like that's worth a lot.
100 million for
Sorry?
Tadej Pogacar. Euros. That's
How
the
many?
buyout clause. 100 million euros buyout clause. That's not
That's
cycling numbers. That's like football.
Holy moly, are you serious? Thing is about Pogacar though is that Lefebvre would probably quite like a Pogacar because he does everything. You know, he's really good in the classics, which let's face it, Quickstep have been a little bit crap about this year and last year. They could do with a Pogacar to lead that and a Pogacar to go and mop up the tour as well. You know, he's an all-in-one package.
He's the increased Michal Kwiatkowski from 2014.
Oh, world champion Michał Kwiatkowski. I still live in those days.
I still mourn for the loss of 2014 Michal Kwiatkowski.
So do I. That was such a sad time.
I don't think Lefebvre has 100 million to spare for Tadej Pogacar though.